everyone, this is Julie from Heart to Hand. Thank you so much for joining me today, taking the time out from your busy day to have a look at this video tutorial. I hope you get a lot out of it, but thank you for joining me. Recently I did a flip through of my February Hybrid Folio. If you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link to it up here and in the description box below so you can have a look at everything I've done. But I did a few photo folios in this project that aren't part of Kathy's project, the hybrid folios. I had to play around and came up with a few of my own folios, so I'm able to do a tutorial on those because it's actually not part of this tutorial. If you'd like the tutorial for the album, I will leave a link for that in the description box below as well. It's by Kathy from Paper Phenomenon and it's a beautiful album series, and you can check it out and I'll leave a link for that. But anyway, I've already done a tutorial on one of the types of folios that I've done, and this is a second one, and this is just another style. So the other one I opened sort of booklet style. This one is a top loading one. So these ones are really good for top loading pockets. So here's one here. And then over the other page is another top loading pocket as well. So I've done a second one in there. And with these, I've actually flipped them around so that they are vice versa and upside down, just to show you that you can, you know, play around with these designs and have them, make them match your situation. So I've done two. This was the original one, and this is the one that I've actually made on camera just to give you an idea of how to do it. So they are quite easy to do. It's just matted. I've matted it front and back, and I've just matted it to sort of go with what I've already got here. So I've just chosen papers that go with the actual album. And so it opens from the top. Okay, so it opens this way. And it's a bit long, so it's a bit hard to get on camera. And then I have these two little photo mats here. They're 4x6 photo mats that you can put photos on either side. And I've put plain pattern paper here to be able to journal. So I thought that would be a really nice journaling spot. And then when you open this, there's just a layout here of a 4x6 and a 5x7 layout here. I'll just close this over so that we can see. And then when you come down, there's this fold out section here. And there is a little pocket here that holds a loose photo mat, which is a 5x7, okay, that you can take out. And then when you open it, I have a little window space here, and I have this flip out mechanism happening here using pattern paper on the hinges. Okay, so I teach you how to do this window. This is completely optional. There's not a window in this one. This one just has a photo mat. Sorry, it's round the other way because it's upside down. So you can see this is the same pocket here, but I've just put a photo mat on top. Okay, I haven't put a window in this one. So it just depends on whether you want to sacrifice a photo spot for this window, but I quite like it. I think it's a nice decorative element, and you can come back with some of your embellishments too and embellish around the edge of this window, which I plan to do. And of course I have my 4x6 photo mat that sits here, and I show you how to mat behind here as well. To go with that. So that's that. So that's the tutorial I'll be doing. So hold on tight and I will get started and show you how to make this folio. So this is the folio we're going to be making today, with a little bit of a difference. With the second one, I'm actually going to flip mine upside down, and just to show you that you can have it round the other way. And I'm also going to be tucking this bit in so that this flap will sit on top. So this is what I'm going to make, having it this way around. Okay, so your pieces will be exactly the same measurement, and I'll give you those now. So you're going to need to cut a base piece, and your base piece is going to measure 7.5 by 9 7/8. Okay, so 7.5 across and 9 7/8 this way, and there's no scoring on the base. Okay, so you're just going to cut that shape. And then for our top flap, which is this one here, our top flap, it's this piece here, you're going to cut a piece that is 7 inches across this way and 7.5 inches this way. Okay, so 7 across and 7.5, and on the 7-inch side you're going to score 1/2 inch. Okay, and then on the dented side where you've scored, you're going to apply your score tape, and you're going to taper these edges, not right to the score mark, just a little bit, about 1/8 inch away. Okay, same on both sides. All right, and then for our bottom flap, which is going to also be a pocket, you're going to need a piece that measures, again, 7.5 in width, and then it is 9 3/4. So 9 3/4 long by 7.5 across. And then with your scoring, you're going to score on the 9 3/4 side, you're going to score 1/2 inch on one side for the hinge, then you're going to turn it around and you're going to score at 4.5 inches, okay, on the other side. So there's a score mark here at 4.5. Okay, so you'll fold that in, and then again you're going to apply your score tape to the the bumpy side. That's the same on this one. I told you the wrong thing. The score tape's on the bumpy side of that score mark, not the dented side. Okay, same on this side, and you're going to taper exactly the same way. All right, so that's your two top and bottom flaps. And then while you're at it, you can go ahead and cut your pocket piece. Now in my sample here, I've just made this pocket into, I'll just find it, actually I'll take this out for now, a mat. In this one, here's the pocket here. This photo mat just slips out, the 4x6 photo mat, if I can grab it, that just slips out, and I've just made that into a photo mat just for extra space. But I want to show you today that if you don't need all that space, you can actually create a decorative element by putting a window in your pocket. You will lose that photo mat space, but it's just a nice addition. So I was going to show you how to do that today. So this pocket piece here, this measures 5 5/8 inch by 7 1/8 inch. Okay, so 5 1/8 inch by 5 5/8 by 7 1/8. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And then you're going to score 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So on both the long sides and one short side, you're going to score 1/2 inch. And then we are going to miter these corners. That's where you cut it straight across here, right to those score marks. Okay, straight across. And then on these two ends, you're just going to taper these edges, not to the score marks. You're going to leave a little gap. Okay, and so you should have a piece like this. Now to cut your little window out, what you need to do is you need to flip it onto the wrong side. Now I'm going to show you in this tutorial how to make a little stopper in your pocket so your tag actually hangs out, because I don't want my tag to go all the way inside. If I could just find my tag, I'll show you. Here it is. So here's my photo mat, sorry, or it could be a tag if you wanted it to be. So if I was just to pop it in this pocket, it would go all the way here. Okay, let's turn it around, all the way here, and I would still get some of my design, but it's very hard to take it out when it measures exactly the same. Now you could cut it longer, but then you're going to have to mat part of this because you have a longer photo mat, which you can do. But I wanted to show you, just give you the option, if you already have your photo mats cut to size, how you can create a little stopper so that your photo mat actually just sticks out of your pocket a little bit. Okay, so for this, in this case, what we're going to do is draw a pencil line, and you're going to measure it is 7/8 of an inch from the fold line. So from the back pocket fold line, it's 7/8 of an inch, and you're just going to draw a line. Okay, and that's where our stopper is going to sit, and I'll show you how to do that soon. Now, to cut your window, you can cut this to any size you would like, but the size I've done it is 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so all I've done is I've just come in 5/8 of an inch and drawn a line here, and then I've measured 5/8 of an inch from the fold line in and drawn another line across, same to the bottom, 5/8 of an inch, and then I've measured 5/8 of an inch from the stopper line. Okay, 5/8 of an inch, and I've drawn a line. And then you're just going to take your metal ruler and your craft knife, and you're going to cut that square out like that, and then that will leave you with a window. Okay, so it's pretty simple to do. All right, so you should have something that looks like that. So this is if you're going to make it in the same orientation I'm going to, I wanted my photo to come from the right hand side, so you can pay attention to that as well, as to which side you put your frame and your tabs. All right, so that's what mine looks like. Okay, so once you have those basic pieces cut, the first thing we're going to do is hinge our base and the top of our the top flap, rather, this top flap piece here. So I have my base and I have my top flap, and I'm just going to pop it over like that. We're going to line up, we're going to bring this base piece right up to that score mark, right up to the fold. I'm going to make sure it's level and even. Just make sure you get these sides nice and even. So once you have it lined up, we'll just take our score tape off and fold that over like that. And I'm going to give it a little burnish. Okay, so I've got my top flap. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put our flaps on. Now, because this was around the other way, I'm going to have my flaps coming this way. Okay, so let's add those. So these are just 4x6 photo mats, which means they're 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay, and I have them here. Okay, so I'm going to have mine coming this way, like that, and like that. Okay, so all you're going to do is cut 2 hinges that are 1 inch wide by 6 1/4 long. You're going to score them in half in the middle and add score tape either side, and then you're going to miter the edges. Okay, and that's all you do to create these hinges. And again, I just use scrap. Okay, so this is a really nice way to use up any bits and pieces you may have laying around. And then we're simply going to add our hinge to our photo mat, to the long edge of our photo mat. Now I've cut my hinges slightly shy of the length. It's just the way it turned out, but you guys can cut yours to length, it's fine. Okay, doesn't really matter. Okay, and now I've got my hinge, and I've already hinged this other one. Okay, so now it's just a matter of applying the photo mats, and I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch edge gap around, because it looks a bit better that way, I think. Like that. and then I'm going to line my second one with this edge here. Okay, I'll just turn it around. And just leaving about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Okay, and there's my other photo mat. And now all I need to do is mat inside here. So for my other one, I just used some pattern paper in here. But what I might do with this one is I'm going to put plain paper in here, and now this becomes a lovely journaling spot where you can write about what's going on in your folio. Okay, so that's the way I've done them, and you can do them either way. If you like it that way, you can do it that way or this way. This is the way I like to have it facing. Okay, so that's that one done. So we're going to come down here now and add our bottom flap. Okay, so let me just grab that. So here's our bottom flap, and we're going to apply that in exactly the same way we did the top flap, like this. Flip it over. I might actually, oh no, it should be fine. Just going to line up that edge with the score line, making sure I've got the sides all nicely lined up. And again, my cardstock is just a little bit off, just because, yes, it's not very square, so, but it's fine. It is fine. So we'll take that off. There we go. Give that a burnish. Okay, and then on the back side here, you're going to mat that so you won't see those hinges. Okay, so this is now going to become our bottom piece. So let's see, we will work on, I think what we'll do is we will work on this pocket section. So what I might do, just so we can be in camera, is I'm going to fold this back, but you won't need to do that. I'm just folding mine back so you can see better. So what we're doing here is we're going to be doing this pocket section here. Okay, and I'm going to be turning mine around the other way so that I can use my right hand to pull my photo out. Okay. So this is where we need our little photo frame that we've made and we've cut out. Now, before, I'm going to put a piece of acetate in here. So what I suggest before you do that is that you think about cutting your mat out, which I have done here. There's a couple of ways you can do it. So all I did was I cut my mat to size, which is usually for something small like this, I just cut it about 1/8 of an inch smaller, but you could cut it 1/4 of an inch if you want a larger border around the edge. Okay, so my mat that I cut measures, so 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, 4.5 by 6.5. And once you've got your rectangle cut out, you're going to take just some repositionable adhesive and pop that on each side. I've just got this stuck here so that I can show you what I did before I cut it out. Okay, and you just pop it on as if you're going to mat it. You're ignoring the gap at the moment, and you just stick that down, and then you flip it over like this, and you take your pencil and you're going to mark your window like that. Okay, and once you have that, you can take this off, and then I've just cut about 1/16 of an inch away from that line, roughly 1/16 of an inch away from that line. Or the other thing you can do, if you don't want to do it this way, is simply measure 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and cut it that way. And then you're going to have to measure in here 1 3/8 of an inch. Okay, and you can do it that way. Okay, and then you just take a craft knife, cut it out exactly the same way as the window. So I'll pop this out now. And then you have your mat all ready to go. Okay, and that will just fit over the top like that. Okay, but I can set that aside for now. Now that I have my mat done, I can go ahead and add my acetate. Now let me just tell you what the acetate measures. I didn't write it down, so I'll measure it for you. So the acetate measures, let's see, that's 3 7/8 of an inch that way, and the length is 5 inches. So 5 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. And then I've just taken my 1/4 inch tape and applied it all around the edge. Okay, and of course it's picked up every speck of dust there is. It's the only problem with this, it's very staticky, isn't it? And it picks up all the dust. So you're going to flip it over to the back side, and we're simply going to center that and add it. Okay, so I'll remove one of my tape backing off. I'm going to add it there, and I'm going to remove the rest. And like I said, this window is completely optional. There is a bit more work involved if you have this window, and you do lose one of your photo mat spots, but I just thought it'd be nice decoration inside. It's really just a decorative element, isn't it? Okay, we just burnish that in place, and now I have my window in place. Okay, so now I'm going to add my little stopper, and all that is, it's just a scrap piece of cardstock. Mine measures 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4 inches. Okay, so you want it, it's going to sit here. You don't want it too thick, so it sort of creates bulk under this flap. Try and avoid that if you can, and you just don't need it to go right the way across, because once you have it there, it's going to stop. You can even have it smaller than this and it will still act as a stop. Okay, so all you're going to need to do is, I'm going to glue this in place. I'm not going to use my tape. I'm going to use my glue so that my photo mat won't get caught up in any tape, sticky tape that might be on the edge. Okay, so I'm just using my art glitter glue here, and I'm just going to center this, putting that fold line approximately in the center on that pencil mark that you drew. It's directly on that pencil mark like that. Okay, and that's our stopper in place. Put my top in. Now we're going to start applying. Now let me make sure I've got this around the right way. Have I? Yes. It's going to go here. Going to go here. Okay, so I wish I could get this dust off my acetate. My goodness, just wiping it on my clothes, I'm probably making it worse. And I've got a bit of glue on here now too. Okay, all right, you probably won't notice it once I get my mat in. All right, so I'm going to stick this bottom edge in first. Okay, so I'll turn it around this way, and you just want to center it. There will be a gap either side of this pocket so that it folds shut, but I'm going to line this edge up, this folded edge, with the edge of my cardstock. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. Let's remove some of this. so that I can move it around a bit. So you should have a gap either side of your pocket. If you have, you've done it right. So we do want our flap to be able to close. All right, so you should have something that looks like this. So you have a gap either side there, but this is flush. Okay, and then we're going to add our sellotape. We don't want, actually, you know what, in this case we don't have to because we have our stopper here. So our tag isn't going to get caught up because it's going to stop here. So you don't need your tape this time. See, a habit. Just habit, isn't it? So now we're going to bring this up. I'm going to score this, sorry, not score it, burnish this nice and flat. We're going to bring our sides up and over. So I'll remove the tape backing. Now, before I do that, there is something else you can do which is optional. You can put some pattern paper behind here. Now you'd need a little bit bigger than this. I'll just take these tapes off. So you can sit it, so when you pull your tag out, you will have some pattern paper showing behind, and instead of just the black. So what I might do is I'll go and cut a piece and show you, because I think that's a nice feature, and I'll show you how to add that in now. Okay, so I'm back and I've cut a piece of my pattern paper. I've decided to go with this text paper. If you're doing text like me, just make sure you orientate it the right way so it's up facing where it needs to be. Okay, now the measurement for this piece is 6 3/8 of an inch by 4.5. So 6 3/8 by 4.5. Okay, and I've added my double-sided tape, my 1/4 inch double-sided tape all the way around the outside. Okay, so to do this, now like I said, this is optional. Okay, you don't have to. You can just simply leave a black background in here if you'd like, because most of the time your photo mat's going to be in there anyway, you won't see it. But I thought we'd finish it off with this matting. So all you do is you grab your matting and you're going to poke it inside, and you're going to line this up how you'd like it, leaving about 1/8 of an inch down this side. Okay, just like as if you were matting. Okay, so the same way. So just going to get that a little bit straighter, and that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to carefully now open this like this, trying not to move it. Okay, and I'm going to remove the tape backing off this top piece here, and I'm going to fold my flap over the top. Okay, and I'm going to repeat that for down the bottom like this, and actually I'll take this piece off as well so it doesn't get caught up under there. Okay, fold that up, and there, now I'm ready to just fold everything over, and it will all be matted and the pocket stuck down at exactly the same time. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove all of the tape backing off our matting piece. Excuse me. And we want to glue down the other side of our stopper. Okay, actually we need to take this tape backing off as well, off our pocket. So all the tape backing gets removed now, like that. And I'm going to grab my glue, and I'm going to put my glue on my little tab here. Don't add too much glue because you don't want it oozing everywhere and then sticking where you don't want it to stick. Okay. So once I have that, then all I've got to do is flip this over and just carefully lay it down and stick everything in place like that. So that was pretty easy, wasn't it? And now we've got a nice piece of our pattern paper in behind our window. And you want to allow your stop to dry, but I'll just give you a little gentle demo. Best to let it dry before you put your photo mat inside. Here it is. Lost it for a minute. Here's my photo mat. So I've just got my photo on one side, and you could have photos on both sides and actually frame one of the photos. That would be nice too. But I'm using the really pretty pattern paper, and it just slides in like this, and it should stop in place like that. So there you go. And now you have a little window, and then when I have my matting over the top, it will just finish that off nicely. Okay, so now you have a nice little decorative element if you would like to. So I'm just going to take this out for the moment because I really do want this to dry before I pop my matting, why can't I say photo mat? Sorry guys, photo mat inside. Okay, so let's move on. So we've done our pocket. Now we're going to move down here. This is our original sample. So we've done our pocket and we've orientated it around the other way. So now down here we want to actually add our little opening for our flaps for our photos. Okay, so that's going on this piece here. So I'll grab those. So all you need for that is you need 3 white photo mats, and these all measure 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I've got 3. So one of them I've added my double-sided tape all the way around, and then on the other I've played around with some pattern paper here, making pattern paper hinges, just to show you that you can use your pattern paper as well. So as you can see, these are scraps, so we're trying to use up our scraps. So I've just left the white border on here because when I stick it on, you're not going to see it. Once a photo is sitting over that, you won't see it, so you might as well use it. You don't need to trim it off. So these measure, let me just give you the right measurement. These measure 3 inches, okay, so they're 3 inches across and 4 1/4 inches, so the length of your mat, 4 1/4 inches by 3 inches. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to score 1/2 inch on one side, and you'll need 2 of those. Okay, and then on the back you're going to apply your score tape. You're going to put some tape on the 1/2 inch hinge, then you're going to put score tape up next to that fold here like that, and then you're going to put a piece on the edge. Okay, and then I have tapered this 1/2 inch hinge, leaving about 1/8 of an inch, and then on this side I've just done a very small little taper on the corner. Okay, and you'll see that when we put it together. Okay, and then all you need to do is add your hinges to your photo mat, and we're just going to stick down our 1/2 inch hinge onto our photo mat. So I'll do that. And this is just ways you can use up your scraps of pattern paper that you have laying around, your small scraps. Okay, so I have my other hinge on now, like that. And then all we're going to do now is hinge these on top. Okay, and I'm going to hinge mine so I've got 1/8 of an inch border around here. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the tape backing on one of them. I'm just doing the first piece first, up near the one up near the fold line. I'm going to center this, leaving about 1/8 of an inch. Like that, and then I'm going to remove the tape backing from the inside and stick that down as well. So this is a pretty quick and easy one to make. Now just make sure you match your photo mats, so lay one on top of the other. Okay, and leave 1/8 of an inch or so at the end here. Like that, and then we're going to take this other tape off. Okay, so we've got our 2 flaps in place now, and you're going to grab your 3rd piece, and that is going to be centered over the top here, like that. Okay, and that covers up those edges. We're just going to center it. Like that. Okay. Take my tape off. There we have it. And there's another setup for 2, 4, 5 photos. So lots of room for photos in here. Okay, so next we're going to be doing our hidden pocket in our pattern paper. So let's grab our sample. This is the one, so we've just done our pocket, we've done our 2 little flaps, so we're going to fold this up like this. Fold this up. Okay, so we're folding this up, and we're going to be working on here to do our little hidden pocket here. So I'm trying something a little bit different with this one, guys. This is, I don't know if it's going to work. This is the first time I've done it. Hopefully it will. So you're going to need a piece of pattern paper for this. And you're going to need to pay attention to the orientation of your pattern paper, because we want, when you open it, you want to have everything up the right way. That really helps, doesn't it? Okay, so for this piece, you're going to need to cut a piece of pattern paper. Let me find my measurements. So it is 7 1/4 inches this way, and 4 3/4 inches. So 7 1/4 by 4 3/4 inches. Okay, and then on one of these long sides you're going to score it 1/2 inch, because we need a hinge there. Okay, and on the dented side you're going to add your score tape, and then you're going to taper these edges right to the score line. Okay, right to the score line. Now on the other side, on the wrong side, you're going to need a couple of pencil marks. Okay, now this is where our little faux pocket or our hidden hinge comes in. So I've got my photo mat, and we want to center this in the pocket, and you want to have about 1/16 of an inch or so either side, or a little bit more if you want to, and you want to make a mark either side of that. So in my case, from the edge it measures 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so let me double check that. Yes, I've got that at 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so I've measured 7/8 of an inch, and then I've drawn 2 pencil marks down here. Hopefully you can see those. I'll show you. Lift it up and show you. So I've got 2 pencil marks drawn there, and then I've added my score tape on either side to the edge, right to the edge. Okay, so we're going to need a couple of little hinges. Now these do not have to be as long as this, because these really are just guides to guide our photo mat into the center. Okay, so again, this is so you can use any little scraps you might have. And this is just scrap pattern paper, and you just need 1-inch strips for hinges. Okay, now mine measure 2 1/4 inches each, but it doesn't really matter as long as you have something, probably at least 2 inches, to act as a guide. Okay, and then you simply score them in half. You add score tape on either side, right? You fold it, and then you taper one edge, leaving 1/8 of an inch. Okay, just on both of them. So I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. I've lost some of my video footage, so you haven't missed too much, but I will catch you up on what I have done. So I actually attached my hinges here, and I just want to show you, I actually made a mistake here. As you can see, I've had to pull it off. I actually attached it to the wrong side of the line. So make sure that your folded edge is to the inside of the line. The same on here. Folded edge to the inside of the line. Okay, and I've just attached those two pieces. And then the other thing I was talking about was when you cut your pattern piece, I forgot to mention, when you do your 1/2 inch score, make sure you do that at the top of your pattern paper. Okay, not down the bottom here. You need it to be at the top. Okay, and then all I've done is I've gone ahead and I've just stuck that piece down. I've just put it on as if I was matting this cardstock. All right, so that's all I've done. So let me grab my sellotape now. We need to put some tape on this edge so that our photo mat doesn't get caught up in this little tab. So we'll do that. Like that. Okay, and then once you have that done, now we can actually tape everything down, and hopefully, let's hope this will work. I'll just make sure that they're burnished nicely, and we're going to remove the tape backing off all the sides of our little tabs here, like that. And we're going to bring this over. And we're going to stick the whole lot down. Okay, so we've got our little hidden pocket inside our matting. So let's see if this is going to work, guys. So we have our 5x7 photo mat that we want to slip in here. And it looks like we have success. So yes, I like that. So that's worked. So there you go, there you have it. So all that's left now is to continue matting. Now I'll show you my other one. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut some pattern paper for this front cover here, and I'll probably use that blue text paper we used inside our pocket. I'm going to mat inside here with plain because I want to use that as a journaling spot. And then I will do, I'll probably reverse this, so I'll put the 5x7 landscape here and then the 4x6 at the top and mat the back of this. Okay, and then we have that done. I will mat my pocket. I've already got that piece ready to go. And then I'm going to put a piece of pattern paper on here as well. Okay, and we will also need to mat the back of our piece to finish it off. So that's all that's left to do, really, is just add those photo mats and that matting. But that is the basic construction of that, and I've shown you how you can flip it around and have it in a different orientation to this one. So that's the orientation for that one, and then we've flipped it and have it round this way for that one. So I'm going to go ahead now and finish matting, and you can go ahead and do yours as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and are able to make many photo folios with it. I'll catch you next time.